Morning, folks. Warmed up a little bit. Pretty nice today. We're by ourselves. Just me, Luke, and Ollie. We're gonna take these cattle on that long push clear to those far mountains over there. I'm hoping these girls will line out and want to go to that winter country. I've never been on this push. Basically new country to me. Pretty straightforward though. Get across the flats. Kind of got an idea what fences are where, so we'll deal with that when we have to. Rosie's driving the pickup today. He's real crippled up with a hip, which is why he ain't riding. It was pretty miserable for him riding that first day when we were here. So I'm gonna get out this gate here, jump on old Luke, and start making hoof tracks. Happy to have you guys riding along today. Okay, girls, let's go to the winter country. You know what they say, eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking, except we're walking. But we got a long way to go and all day to get there. All right, we're still inside the meadow here at Grub by where the Pony Express station was that we did the sorting on the first day here. Found this little artesian well spring here. Luke's of course had water where he's been living there at Talon's place, but I'm not sure how much water we're gonna find throughout the day today, so I'm gonna see if he wants to get him a drink right now. And Luke, being a Mustang, a lot of times he likes this groundwater. Doesn't want this stuff though. He says, I'm okay, I've been watered up. So hopefully it goes just like this today. The cattle are going the right direction. I've just been dawdling along behind them. Is that so? Anyways, we're supposed to have a high of about 50 degrees, 50 to like 53, 54 degrees today. And it sure feels good, man. The last couple of days have been cold. Maybe we'll get them. Last night when we were coming back from goosenecking that second load over there, we seen them cattle I was telling you guys about that were right in the path of where we should be going today. Hopefully they're there. I think there was 2 or 3 calves in there that need to be weaned. So if that's the case, we'll just pick them up and throw them in the herd, and we'll get to where we're going. And then probably rope them calves and pull them into the trailer and wean them that way. At least that's plan A. I'm sure you folks have learned right now, or by now, that plans are always subject to change when you're dealing with cattle. I think that they can see what we're trying to do, and some days they just decide to make us have to change our plans halfway through. Rosie's gonna run on ahead. I can't even see him no more. He's gonna run ahead to the well that's on the winter permit. It's a well with a submersible pump that's run off a generator. It's got a storage tank on it, so the idea is that you run that generator every few days and the storage tank never empties out. And it's, from what I understand, it's the only water on that part of the winter permit, so there's a lot of cattle using it. And of course, flowing water don't freeze, so you keep the well running. That groundwater's coming out of the ground at, you know, say 40 or 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and you get a big volume of it, and it's a lot harder for it to freeze. Where if you let that system run dry and you have a real small volume of water in that tank, or maybe even the system goes dry and there's just water in the lines and not enough to gravity feed to the tank, it'll freeze up really easy. And in a bad scenario, you're gonna have to figure something else out to do with that water once it comes out of the well, because the tank and the trough will be froze. So it's just good preventative maintenance. Go run that generator once every few days and keep your volume built up. When it's 50 degrees during the day like this and only in the 20s at night, it's really generally not too much of a problem. But like the day where it was 3 degrees at the house, which meant it was probably 5 below out here, or maybe even a little colder than that, and only got to like 15 degrees that day, that's when things start freezing up. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep moving these girls. I'm gonna get through the first gate here. I'll invite you guys along for that. They're gonna want to water up right here, which is good. I'll offer Luke this water too. So there's a old motor and submersible right there. By the looks of it, was used to irrigate this place at one time. But anyways, I'll keep you guys involved along the way. See, if you remember a few minutes ago, we seen that well motor and well and all that. These desert meadows, they don't take a ton of water to irrigate per se. And like this little ditch here is really common in this part of the world, and in these little desert meadows. And you don't see any hard structures like cross gates or outlet gates or anything like that. What you would do if you were to irrigate this place is you bring a tarp dam, and you just move that tarp dam so far down the ditch, and maybe on one side of a split to make it go the other way, and you can move water all around these little flat meadows that way. A tarp dam is usually just a piece of pipe or a T-post or something like that, and a piece of tarp that T-post slides in. You set that T-post across there, and you'll take your shovel and set sod around the sides and bottom of the tarp, and it'll just back the water up, and the force of the water will hold the tarp dam there for as long as you want to leave it. Like you'd set one here, of course, to make the water run that way, or something like that. You know, it's hard to say right here, right now, without any water to move, because of course the water is going to tell you which way it's going to want to go. These little ridges I can see in this little meadow here tells me that somebody farmed it at one time. And I mean, obviously there's a land plane there, so there was a lot of work put into this to level it and get it to where you can irrigate it to grow some feed out here. Every bite of feed you can get to grow on a desert is, I mean, it's as good as gold. You can, like when I've been living out at some cow camps in places that I've worked in the past, this particular camp, really cool camp, there was no electricity, no cell phone service. You had propane lights in the cabin. You'd make your circle and do whatever you did for the day. And I like to take colts. If I had a colt coming along that was fairly gentle, I'd take them to irrigate, and I'd just take a round nose shovel and go out in the meadow, and where I had my water going, you know, I'd see where it was going and where I wanted it to be. And it usually, well, it wasn't ever a very big volume of water. So you just take that shovel and stand out there with your colt, and you know, a little shovelful here, a little shovelful there, maybe a little bit of a tiny trench here, you know, and move that water around and grow some feed up for your horses there at camp. And it dang sure helped your horses having fresh feed, and it helped them colts come along, because you'd be climbing off and on them and walking them through that water, and they kind of got to be real gentle that way, because they'd realize that, you know, just because I got caught and saddled doesn't mean I'm going to get rode hard on a big circle. I can stand out here and, you know, maybe you'll work on hobble breaking one that way and let them graze a little bit, and just be their friend while you're doing it, because you're not in a hurry. You know, sometimes you're out there a half hour and got your water moved pretty good, and other times you spend 2 hours out there while the sun goes down in the summer, and you know, have a beer and just enjoy it. Enjoy the quiet, enjoy the product that God made in that little meadow. And that's a pretty good way to spend a summer night in my eyes. Anyways, I think we're about up to our first gate right here. We'll see, maybe not, maybe that's just a little exclusion trap. It looks like there might be a fence line past it, but we'll show you guys when we get there. Still trailing out good. Hey, leave him alone. When Ian Tyson sang a song about Claude Dallas, one verse was in the monitors down south. That's the Monitor Mountain Range right there. Sure looks cold up top. Places like this, you think about it just a little bit and you can just about feel the history that you're riding through. Okay, our leads are right here at the gate waiting for me to open it. I'm gonna ease on through in here. Girls, let me sneak in here. Open it all the way around so nobody gets tangled in it. Come on, Ollie. We'll let them start going. Come on, sister. These girls are wanting to walk today. That's why some of these turn around, they're going the wrong way, because I got ahead of them to open that gate and they know what time of year it is. They know they got to walk in front of them. Of course, it'd been a shorter distance for them if they'd just stop and wait for me, but I'm not complaining at all about a day like today when the cattle want to walk. Worst thing you can do when you got a long drive like this is sit on the back of them on the drag and mash. It don't work that way. They don't travel that good. Ride your sides of them, keep them lined out, and let them string out. This little bunch of cattle, they string out for a quarter mile or half mile even. If everybody's walking, why do they got to be in a bunch? They trail naturally in a line just like that. That's why they make cow trails. No sense in fighting nature. I'll just let them trail out. They act like they know where they're going. They're going the right way. There's an ocean on either side. They're not gonna get away. It's a good day. Okay, everybody's out of Grub Meadow here. We're gonna leave this gate open for the couple remnant pairs that might be out here. Not even sure there is any, but that might be out here. You know, if we're there, water and dries up, or whatever reason, the snow pushes them around or something, that way they can get in here, because we can see most of Grub Meadow from the road. It's easy to check on. It's pretty common practice on these deserts for the winter when you gather in the fall. It's pretty common to leave gates open. That way if something does get missed, it doesn't get cut off from water or feed or something like that. And you have just a lot safer for the cattle that are still out here. Rule of thumb and a very common saying is leave a gate like you found a gate. And I'd been told to leave that one open when I come through it, so I'll leave it open. Otherwise I would have closed it. Anytime you go through a gate, if it's open, leave it open. If it's shut, shut it behind you. And you can, I mean, if you shut a gate that was open when you went through it for no reason, you know, maybe you're hunting or just driving around out here or whatever, you might shut some cattle off from water, and the rancher don't know that, and next thing you know, you got dead cattle. So best practice, just leave a gate like you found a gate. Anyways, we're trailing out good. They'll kind of want to split and wander and follow their trails, and we're going the right direction. I'm not worried about it. So just going through another gate here. We're off the big meadow. These two girls walk past it, so I'm just kind of bumping them back towards it. There you go, girls. This small sagebrush, it don't look like much, but these cattle will eat it when it's tender in the spring. They get by on it anyways. They use it along with a lot of other forages in the spring. I'm not gonna say, well, you just can't use it as your only source of feed, but in the spring there's a lot of grasses that come up at the base of the plants and stuff like that these cattle really like. So that's why they got 4 feet. They can walk a long ways to get to feed. Well, there's the main road. One of the neighbors must be shipping something today. Well, the main gravel road anyways. We'll end up either going down with it or crossing the pavement road before the day's done. Kind of just hanging off these girls at this pond, letting them water good. They'll travel better if they aren't thirsty. So, going good. Nice quiet day. Cattle are moving good. A good friend's texting me. Haven't talked to Jeff in, well, a couple months, maybe a year. Days like this are real refreshing, calming. So I'm gonna just sit here for another couple minutes and till the majority of them's got a drink and start traveling on again, and then I'll go bump the ones that are just wanting to hang out on. I'm assuming they're gonna line out and want to travel real good again. At least I hope they will. Just about done watering here. I think I'm gonna just sit on the high ground right here, and in a minute or two I'll just send Ollie around that left side of that pond. Let him get them going again. They're drifting pretty good. Whoa, Luke. Okay, Ollie, go left. Go swimming. Go swimming. He says, man, that's cold. Hey, left. Left. Go on. Left. Left. he's feeling pretty good. The vet gave me some anti-inflammatory pain pills for him, and it's really helped him out a bunch. Yesterday he had a really easy day, of course, just doing a little bit of shipping we did, and good. Hasn't had to use him super hard here recently, so he's okay to go with us today. We'll see if he's sore tomorrow. I'll make sure he doesn't get overworked. What's that? Okay, we're on the main gravel road. Ranch is up that way. Winter country's over that way. Our next spot that we're gonna try to probably be where these cattle are heading is right at the little knob right above them cattle. I don't know if the camera can see it or not. It's called the Love Tub. It's where we seen some cattle yesterday. Hopefully we can pick them cattle up today. And I'm just kind of gonna follow these girls and let them go the way they want to go, because they can get there cut in a straight line. They can get there going down the road, whichever way they want to go, and as long as they keep moving generally in the right direction, I'm just gonna follow them. Not gonna fight them either way. What do you think, Luke? Good day to be a Mustang. He likes being outside. I can see his demeanor kind of perk up when we get to work on the deserts like this versus in the corrals. Where he was caught, if you watch the video on his introduction, where he was caught is basically as far as you can see down here to the south. Over that hill there is getting real close to where he was caught. Maybe just a hair towards the east also, but not by much. I haven't seen any sign of wild horses on this allotment, or feral horses I should call them. They're not wild anymore, they're just feral horses, which is really nice to see because they are real hard on rangeland. My opinion that they're so hard on the springs is because a horse's hoof is solid. When they step on a piece of spring where the water's coming up out of the ground, it compacts it. Where a cow's hoof splits and spreads out as she steps, it doesn't cause the compaction. And I've heard stories of Mustangs moving on to natural springs like that and actually sealing them, and the water quits completely. And a little spring like that on a big desert like this, it can mean the difference between cattle utilizing country or not utilizing country. And of course, grazed rangeland is healthier than ungrazed rangeland, and it's safer in terms of the fire danger. Obviously, you don't want to overgraze. That's unhealthy, just in the opposite direction. But without grazing your grasses, and a lot of your plants will oxidize and basically just quit growing. It's a balance for sure between overgrazing and undergrazing. And the ranchers, some people think that the ranchers just want to stuff as many cattle as possible on a desert, and that's not the truth, for the simple reason that if they overgraze their deserts, they're not going to be able to graze. There's not going to be any feed for these cattle. The ranchers, generally speaking, for the most part, there's always an exception to the rule, but the ranchers have the best interest of the deserts, where there's a lot of other people or agencies that want this and want that and want no cattle and want 1,000,000 feral horses, and that ain't healthy for these old deserts. There's a balance. I'm not saying, you know, exterminate the wild horses, but man, it'd be, and there's studies on it coming out now where they've had them overgrazed by the wild horses, and they get the numbers under control, and the desert's in a lot better shape. I think people in general try to do the right thing. A couple bad actors, of course, here and there do the wrong thing for the wrong reasons. It's a never-ending cycle, and just keep doing the best you can for your range, and don't ever give up. I'm still just trailing on. Still moving pretty good. I kind of just been going up and down the side of them, trying to keep them in a line rather than in a wad. Really not too much other than that going on. Pretty peaceful. We're still working our way over to the love tub. We're getting closer. It's that knob you can see right ahead of those two lead cows up there. We're gonna keep on keeping on. Look, why don't you? Kind of a pretty sight, ain't it? What? We're getting closer to the love tub. It's right up there. A little water there again. Wind's picked up. Got a little chill to it, not bad. Alright, we're just about to the love tub here. I've never been here. I don't know exactly where the water's at or anything, but the cows in this bunch will, and they'll show the heifers where it's at. Everybody that wants a drink will get a drink. I'm just gonna keep letting them do their thing. They ain't done me wrong yet. There's fence all the way around it. I don't think there's any water on the outside of the fence. Really appreciate that one there, US government. You know, maybe we could have just like fenced a spring in and ran a pipe out. Trough maybe. Something like that. Anyway, we're gonna keep on heading towards the winter ground. Okay, so there is just a touch of water running left tub, but it's not something I wanted to shove 90 cows on top of. We're gonna keep headed down this way. Don't know if the camera can pick it up or not, but straight out in front of me is where Rosie's waiting at the gate that gets onto the highway. We're just gonna head that direction. That crooked horn cow has led the whole way, and she's walked the right way the whole way, so she's being a real good lead cow for me. I really appreciate what she's doing. I'm just gonna keep bumping them that way, and probably not gonna be too interesting. If something interesting does happen, I'll make sure and involve you guys. Other than that, I'll see you when we get down to the highway where Rosie's at. We gotta cross the highway, go through a gate, follow a fence a little bit more, and then get to the fence of our winter permit. So we got a ways to go yet. Fun's not over. Those of you who've never seen an alkali bed, that's not snow on the ground. It's alkali. I think just about the same thing as it happens like on your car battery terminals. It'll make dogs kind of sore-footed, I've noticed. But this one's not too big or nothing, so we'll get across it. Cows trail well across it, seems like. So we're closing in on the highway and Rosie and the pickup and all that. Everything's going good. Wind's blowing, but it's not a terribly cold wind. It's actually been pretty nice today. So I guess we'll see you guys at the highway. A little bit of water right here. This little alkali bed. Probably fills up in the springtime, I'd imagine. So I'm gonna just kind of sit right here and let who wants to water. See how it is. Everybody will probably want to water up pretty good right here. It's been a long walk. See if Luke wants to get him a drink. Alkaline water, that's it's like a big new thing like in the fitness world, isn't it? You gotta be kind of careful. Sometimes there's no bottom to these little pools. I trust Luke here, but if I had Henry today, I'd have probably not let him put his feet in it. Might have made him drink over where you can tell the cow's been walking. Luke's happy enough, he doesn't concern me much. Ollie's getting him a good drink. Like I said, I'm gonna let these cattle water up here a minute and let Luke water up. They're kind of starting to move out a little bit. Some cattle might not really like this water. Some cattle might really like it. I don't know. Alright. Oh, yeah, kind of soggy, huh? So, be good. You're okay, girls. Let's keep moving now, girls. Ollie, go ahead and go around left. Go left. Skitter. Good boy, go left. Them heifers, it's their first trip across here, I'd imagine. Maybe not, but they kind of act like it because they've just been kind of hanging in the back, 4 or 5 of them, and they've been following good. They'll learn the way, and next year they'll travel right along with the main bunch real well. Try and stay here where I can see the ground's a little harder. These alkali bogs, they can have no bottom. I mean, you'll sink a truck in a heartbeat, and you can sink a horse, or I mean, you can tell even a cow's been sunk here at one time by the bones laying here. So a little bit of caution around this sort of thing. It pays off usually. I was trotting across one when I was pretty new to cowboying in the part of the world where the alkali beds are anyways, and by myself and trying to get it kind of across the bottom of this desert, and had a horse at a long trot and was just thinking this is making good time, and he broke through that crust and I went over the front end of him, and the pair of shaps I had on didn't fit right, and I hung the leg of my shaps off my saddle horn. And the last kind of thing I remember there is seeing his knee come up because he was lunging to get out of it, and seeing his knee come up, Ollie go right. I seen his knee come up and hit me right in the forehead, and the next thing I remember after that is he was out of the bog. I was still hanging upside down, and he was kind of standing there shaking. We'd moved probably 15-20 feet with me unconscious. Learned 2 things on that day. One is never to hit a long trot across an alkali flat you don't know really, really well. And the second thing is wear a pair of shaps that fits right. Don't wear a pair that's 3 sizes too big, because it can be a little bit dangerous. I'm lucky he was a really gentle, personal horse. And actually, he's one of them that's buried up at Talon's place. Too Much was his name. And You know, had I been on something green or not very gentle, he might have just pawed me to death right there, hanging off the side of him. When I finally woke up, I realized what was happening, and I just kind of started talking to him and pet his leg a bit and up to his shoulder and grabbed him around the neck and climbed back aboard him, basically. And he'd stepped on my hands a couple times and didn't break nothing or really messed me up too bad, but I was pretty sore for a little while after that. Kind of a good lesson to have somebody else learn. Hopefully somebody will hear this and think maybe I ought to have somebody take these saps in a hair for me and not have them so sloppy around my thighs. Anyways, the trailer's just over this little hill here. I'm kind of just gonna let them pick their way across the Southlight Flat. That way I don't have to eat a bunch of dust getting them out of it. Old lead cow, she's wanting to go that way. I'm gonna have to make sure that she goes the right way. I got a fence there I need to get around the outside of the corner on. And Rosie will be there with the gates open for us. So I'll see you guys when we get to him. All right, here at the highway. Handy little Brandon trap right here for Brandon calves in. We'll let him on by, he's bigger. 89. Yep. Perfect. All right. Rosie says get him across the highway, hang a hard left, stay on the fence. Mile or two, thereabouts-ish, is the gate that we've been looking for all day. Finally found it. But we got to get him across the highway first. It's supposed to be the loneliest road in America, Highway 50, and there's always traffic on it when you want to cross it with cattle. Funny how that works. Hey, girls! Sometimes desert cattle can be really weird about the lines on the highway also. I imagine this bunch is going to be pretty good. I'm going to assume they've seen the lines. Oh, little Charlotte, you're all right. It's just Rosie. Ain't going to hurt you. We'll let this one get by here. Then we'll really start to mash on them. Okay, girls. Hey, Ollie left. Go on, Mama, lead him across the highway. That's been our lead cow all day. Hey, girls! Come on now, girls. Doing good, almost there. Hey! Again, these girls act like they know where they're going. If they don't know where they're going, it's been the luckiest day I've ever had in my life. Cattle don't trail out that well without knowing where they're going. They might run off that well without knowing where they're going, but they weren't doing that today. Good job, girls. Thank you, Rosie. Ollie left. Ollie left, I said. Left. Get ahead, get ahead, get ahead. Go left, get ahead. Left. 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 Oh, what'd you step on, Luke? Always trash next to highways too. Skeet him. Probably gonna have to mash on them a lot this last little bit. This feed's not been used over here. Skeet him. Skeet him. Go on, Mama. I asked you once. Take them where they're going. Hey, girls. Huh. Skeet him. Skeet him. Left. Huh. Okay, Ollie, come here. Go right. Huh. Through that gate, girls. You walked past it. Why'd you do that for? Turn and go through there, girls. Go on. Hey. Left. Left. Skeet him. Hey, bald face. Got the right idea now, girls. Rosie said he'll get the gates behind me. Nice guy. Okay, come on, Ollie. Now we need to just take him that way. Ollie, go right. Go right, get ahead. Go right. Get ahead. Get ahead. Go right. Get ahead. Hup! 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 Go on, girls. There's speed. Where are you going? Hup! Alright, I'm gonna just take them down this fence line here and see you guys at the next gate. Still going down the highway inside the fence here. Things going pretty good. Talon, when you watch this, that black cow with the one down horn and the other short horn, don't ever cull her. That is an excellent lead cow. She's one I'd keep even if she don't come home with a calf. She's been at the front of the bunch going the right direction all day. Cattle like that, cows like that I should say, they're worth keeping around. You jumped off the truck, decided to help. He's behaving himself, he's helping. Going good. Sun's getting a little bit low behind me and that wind is getting a little bit of a nip to it, but I reckon we'll be there shortly. And we're just gonna keep on keeping on. Well, I can see the truck and trailer right up there. We don't have too much further to go. Pretty good thing too, because with that cloud sitting over there where it is, we're gonna run out of sunlight here real shortly. Hi, driver. But things are still going good, traveling right along. Old Linda dog here got the fresh off him. He's listening pretty good now. I guess if you have to have a dog that's not yours with you, it helps when they kind of just listen. Okay, a while back I had a question asking what these cattle were eating out in the desert, and they're not strung out nice in a line like we talked about earlier. They're kind of in a bunch right now. I've had to use the dogs pretty good. I'll slide over here. Watch out, Ollie. I got the camera in my hand for a reason here. This particular brush right here with the dark tips on it, we got into this big patch of it here, and these cattle put their heads down and wanted to start eating. So I really should know the names and the differences in the brush out here. I know them by sight. I know what the cattle like, generally speaking, and what they don't care to eat. That's my fault for not knowing the right names and how to call them. But they dang sure wanted to eat it. And these cattle know what to eat at what times of the year. So there's a lot of feed out here. It just don't look like it. We're closing in on our gate right up here. I will see you guys up there. Okay, old mama cow is cutting off towards the trailer, and Rosie did tell me, Luke, we're gonna pick a different spot right there. Rosie did tell me the gate's a little ways off the road. It's not right on that road fence. Go left! So we're gonna bump her right towards that trailer, not let her take off across this part of the desert here. Hey Boyd, boy, lend a dog, come here. He kind of sort of has a little bit of comeback for me, and kind of mostly doesn't, but he's not in the wrong spot. So I don't know, for a lend a dog he's pretty good, I guess. I just hope we can get him back on the truck, that way he goes back home tonight. Don't want to lose Talon's dog. That'd be a bad situation. Ollie left. Alright, these girls really kind of decided to pick their heads up, realized where they're at, realized they finally got to where they're going. The gate's right up here somewhere. I haven't spotted it exactly yet. Oh, well, Rosie's gonna call me and line me out right here. Talk to me, Rosie. 10-4, I see that gate right now. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you're telling me. No, this worked good. It was pretty smooth all day. Catch it. All right. So that gate's straight ahead of Luke. It's right between his ears right now. Old lead cow there, I think she's got a hold of it. I'm gonna just sit here and look at this pretty sunset and watch these cows walk through this gate. I'm gonna kick them out towards the south, and they know where the water's at. On the deserts, it's always good practice to leave your cattle on water. This bunch of girls here, they go back and forth here every year. They come to this winter pasture every year. So the cattle know where the water's at, and the young heifers, you know, if they don't quite remember, or maybe they calved out here last year, I'm not sure how Talon does it, but they'll follow the old cows right to the water, and life will be good. What's that black cow walking that way for? Go on ahead, mama. Ollie, Boyd, left. Guys, don't quit me now. Perfect. I'm gonna let them all go left. I'm gonna get them all through that gate before I bump them. Left. Well, that's less than ideal. I want to go eat the grasses there. Now we're winning. As long as they don't try to crowd through that gate, I'm gonna kind of pinch in here just a hair. Cattle get to crowding through a gate, they'll tear the H braces down, and then we'll be out here fixing fence, and I really don't want to do that. It's cold enough to make your hands hurt. Alright guys, they're gonna drift off the way we want them to anyways. I'm gonna send the dogs around to the left here real quick. Go left, left, get ahead, left, left, left. Perfect. Once the dogs quit working them, we're gonna call it a day, folks. Thanks for riding along. It's been a fun day, been a nice calm day, quiet. Cattle moved really well. Days like that are really enjoyable. Good, a beautiful sunset starting down there towards the south. As always, make sure you're subscribed and like, and please ask all the questions you can think of. I love answering them. It's been really fun sharing my life with you guys so far, and I hope to continue to enjoy it and share my knowledge and my life. We'll see you guys tomorrow.